First, I'm going to do this, though. Let's clap it in, Josh.
Ow. Yeah, on fire tonight.
All right.
All right. On fire tonight.
Yeah.
Rocking and rolling.
How's it going, Josh?
What's going on, you guys? It's Josh and Tressa. We are on fire tonight with Josh and Tressa. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great, too. Neat.
So we just watched together season 1, episode 7 of Outer Range. For anyone listening to this, we're going to spoil everything. We're going to talk about it. So if you don't want things spoiled and you haven't seen it yet, watch it first.
Yeah, go watch it, though. So good, Josh.
Right? Like,
so
what the fuck? The show's so good. So
Ugh.
many fucking things happen in this episode. I don't even know where to start.
I don't. Come on. How could we even choose? I guess we could start at the beginning.
Right. Okay. So we start off with a flashback, and it's like 20 years ago. It doesn't say that. It doesn't introduce that, but that's where we are. We're at a roller rink.
Mm-hmm.
It's a disco. It's like a very young Perry is beating the shit out of a very young Trevor on the middle of the floor. Royal is big buck hunting in pure early aughts style.
Yep.
And everybody's upset because what the hell? Why is Perry beating on Trevor? It just came out of nowhere, maybe. And we see Patricia is mean as a rattlesnake back then, or just scary. I don't know if she's mean. Like, I think it's fucking fair for her to be mad and protective of.
Absolutely.
But wait, it's not fair for me to say she's mean, but she's scary.
Right. Because she is in a place mentally, because she should be. But okay, I missed the first couple of minutes. So there was no explanation as to why Perry was beating this kid?
No. And then, so like, they're talking about it in the car. I don't know if you saw that. Like, they're driving home this evening, and like Rhett is asleep in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, so what happened? You just started wailing on him out of nowhere? I don't think that doesn't sound like you. He's like, I don't know. I mean, what's that feeling? He's like, talking about anger? He's like, no, it's something else. And it's bananas because, okay, so we have this unexplained, unaddressed flashback, and it's like, this whole show is about unexplained, unaddressed time weirdnesses. And this is just a convention of television, the flashback, but like, we don't like, you know, whatever.
But man, that's the whole basis basically of the premise of this show. And I just want to jump ahead because it was so crazy, that ending, but let's not.
Right. But then, so here you've got this kid trying to talk about his feelings, like,
and at that point I'm like, I don't know if that is a weird show thing, this feeling he's trying to explain. I don't know if this is a male thing. I don't know if this is actually a kid trying to come to terms with a very human emotion that he can't explain.
I think it's all those things.
Yeah, it is. I mean, good.
And I think that like one of the cool things about this show is that it could just be a thing that's just about all the weirdnesses of the show and not that other stuff, and it would still totally work.
Absolutely. I was ready
it could
to
be
accept
any one of them or all of them.
Yes, and I was ready to accept all of it.
Yeah,
it's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So then we come back to the present day, and Perry has been arrested, and we're in the courtroom, and we're seeing like the lawyers talk to the judge, and they've worked out bail is set for, how much was it?
$500,000.
Yeah, $500,000. That's a lot of money. So
Yes.
they go,
Cecilia puts up the farm.
yeah, she signs on the dotted line. As long as Perry promises to be in court on the day and time,
You know what? Just bring the
then
kid around and let him talk to her there, because shit's gonna go down. You don't bail someone out on your farm.
I mean, I don't know what you do. Like here you've got protective parents. Like this got a lot of protective parents in this show.
Yes.
They want to do the right thing for their kids. They don't always know what it is. Sometimes you've got kids trying to do the right thing for their parents and they don't know what it is either. People are doing their best.
It's just about the family dynamic. That's what this show
Right.
is.
But oh my God, like that scene, so fucking good. So you've got this like just the person that like reads you that like legal declaration before you sign off on it.
Yes.
And Lily Taylor is, she's kind of in half in a trance as she like,
Absolutely.
nods that she understands what she's doing as she signs. And then we have these wonderful slow motion shots of Perry walking, and it's like, when you see a person walking, it's just, there's something so fatalistic, like you see them walking to their fate, their like unavoidable fate.
Yeah, yeah.
And um I don't know, there's a really unsettling feeling. It's great.
Yeah. It was great.
Then where were we? What happened next?
What are we at the diner with the sheriff and her wife?
Yeah, okay, so Joy Hawk and wife and child are
Yes.
sitting down to some giant chimichangas.
they, they were as fat as they were long.
Those are,
They
can I get you anything else? No, I think we're okay.
Do you have any more football sized foods for me?
And then so that power broker Politico dude, Frank, is it Frank Harlan? What's his name?
Yeah, I don't know. It's Frank for sure. I don't know his last name. He's got
He,
a fedora and a nice old man sweater that I love. And I forgot who he was at first. And then I was like, oh, yeah, you're that guy.
yeah, he just sits himself down. He does not pick up on social cues that well, but
He's
he's
like, no,
like,
no, no, I'm going to let you leave. But first, let me creep you out some more.
yeah. I'm gonna go away, but before I go away, I'm gonna come way closer, sit down, and join you.
I'm going to let you eat, but hold up.
But yeah, don't take a bite. Don't take a bite. I got a lot to say here. That's amazing. I have to master that in my own life because I feel like,
Creeping people out.
yeah, but if you can't, I don't know. There's something amazing about saying the opposite of what you're doing and still moving forward with your the opposite of what your stated goal is, but your real goal
Is
the
being
you're
played
constantly
out.
pursuing. It's amazing. So he like congratulates her on like arresting Perry, and she's like, well, there are a couple pieces to still fit together, and it was a team effort. And
They didn't
he's,
do anything. He confessed.
yeah, and he's right, exactly, but she knows how to take credit.
Cops.
Yeah, so he congratulates her and says like, oh, your mom over here is going to win in a landslide against Trudy, whatever his name is. And then he's like, but that same stuff is going on my property, woolly mammoth and evil teenagers. He says something about evil teenagers.
I know. I don't remember that before, but
I
was
don't
like,
remember that
yeah.
before either, but
So a teenager then? Yeah, totally, dude. You got to get rid of those evil teenagers.
what the fuck does that mean?
They're probably going up to his land and making out or something. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just making this up. But wait. Okay,
yeah.
it's his
That's like
land?
some classic cult behavior, right? Evil
Yes.
teenagers go out in the middle of nowhere and do something.
Not to jump ahead, and I'm not meaning to jump ahead at all, but is Frank's land this, and I could be totally wrong, the same land that Royal grew up in?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how big this town in Wyoming is.
I mean, I gotta imagine all these people don't actually live in that town, but like the outskirts, because that
Yeah,
town
like
is
they're all like
tiny.
part of the county, not the
Right.
town.
Hmm.
Or possibly not even the same county. I don't know. I don't know how big. My understanding is if you're a rancher like that and you have just fucking miles of your own land somehow,
Uh-huh.
because that somehow is you stole it.
Right.
Your
Your
ancestors
ancestors
stole
stole
it.
you. And now
Um,
it's yours forever
yeah,
and
that's
ever.
the somehow. Uh,
Oh,
um,
America.
yeah, I mean, like that, like each one of them could have a ranch as big as like the state of Rhode Island, and
Um,
I have no idea.
eh.
Um, so she promises to like, I'll swing by your place later and check it out, which is like exactly the kind of glad handing a
Right.
smart politician should
Hmm.
be doing.
Absolutely.
But before she can do that, they've got to take a little family trip to the
They gotta eat
powwow.
those burritos.
Well, they got to eat those burritos, but then also they got to go to that powwow.
Hmm.
And like, so now Joy's wife is like sort of back on board, like, hey, you did it, you figured it out. And no, she didn't figure out anything. She just got handed a confession.
Hmm.
But she's like, yeah, I don't know. There's like still some parts that don't quite line up. And there's all of this like, I don't know what to make of it. The kid gets dressed up in ceremonial clothes to dance with the intertribal dancers.
Hmm.
And we see Joy looking really ponderous. And it seems like
Once
she might be eyeing specific people or just one guy, or maybe she's just lost in thought. I
it
don't
looked like
know.
she was eyeballing one specific guy that was looking back at her.
But I don't know who that is or why
Mm-mm.
that would be.
Mm-mm, I don't either. It's it's because it's because we're white. We don't know. There was something really important about that guy, and we're too stupid to know that.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's always the answer.
Uh
Where do we go to Autumn's motel next?
yeah, so Autumn's at the motel
She's
and
gone. Like she's so fucking gone right now.
she's standing on the balcony and she looks down and we have that beautiful musical interlude. I only have eyes for you. She and Billy's like just parked there looking up
In
at
the yep.
her.
Mhm.
And then they have
The
a,
weirdest.
a very stagey walk towards each other in slow steps. And there's like this wide shot to show it all with the truck in the middle, and it's in the middle of the motel courtyard parking lot thing.
Mhm. Like
And
smack dab in the middle. If someone wants to come in or out, they're going to have to go around and do a lot of extra work. This shot was bananas and also perfect for the two of them.
okay, so like there's so much to talk about because like comedy lives in a wide shot, right? Like the wider the shot, the funnier it is.
Mm.
And you've got um just like exposition, like Billy says to
Mhm.
her as they take like halting steps towards each other
Mhm.
that Perry got arrested and the Abbotts put up the ranch for bail. And I think that you're going to end up with that land. And I had a vision.
Well, how did he have that vision, Josh?
my dad had this magic rock he's had for a long time, and I took it and I
Mhm.
crushed it and I
Mhm.
ate the dust.
You did what? Why would you do that?
Yeah, so
That's
that's
not
just
edible.
that's just a thing he presents as a thing he did, and no one questions that. And he's like, I had a vision, and it was like you were in charge of everything and you were saving the world. And I will follow you anywhere. I'll do anything you want. And they make out, and it's like uh
The
this
tonguiest makeout of.
right, but it's like it starts and stops because they have it from like different camera angles, and they just really milk it in a way that's not cut to be continuous action
No. Mm-mm.
at all. It's just like, oh, we're going in again from the same angle. Oh, we're coming up from, they're like coming down from above at them.
Mm-hmm. It was goofy and I loved it, even though there was way too much tongue.
And yeah, there's a lot of tongue and a lot of drool. And they she's like, all right, so you're gonna follow me anywhere. And she's sort of like ripping open his shirt and feeling down his jeans and pulls out his knife, and he's like, uh-huh. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. And so then she carves that like sideways brand, that like thing that she's been drawing,
The
which,
not Abbott brand, but is the Abbott brand.
right. Okay. So she did that, but then also just, I think a little bit earlier in the episode, but more or less at the same time,
Yeah.
we have a bandaged Amy who is drawing that in her own notebook
Yes. Multiple times.
multiple times. And then that's when her dad enters the room and they hug, and she's really excited that he's out of jail. And she's like, are you going to have to go to prison? And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, they have like a really hard conversation. She's like, do you know what happened to mom?
Hmm.
And he's like, no, I really don't. I swear to you, I don't.
I got to give him props for that conversation. That was a hard conversation and he did it well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good parenting, sir.
Right. So she doesn't directly say, like, so you killed that guy? And he says, yes. No, that doesn't happen.
No, no, no.
She said, were you drunk when it happened? And he was like, I was sober enough to know the difference between right and wrong. And I should have stopped. And I regret with every part of me that I didn't stop. So that's very close to saying I did it.
Right.
It's 97.7% a
Mhm.
confession.
Yes.
Um, then we see um so we have a shot of the buffalo like walking up to the front gate, still with one arrow in its side.
Yes.
And that's the same buffalo that the county assessor has like, crashed into and died, we assume,
Right, right, right.
previously.
What
And like,
gates were those that it was at? Was that the Abbots or was that the other
I believe that
guys?
was the Abbott's ranch.
Okay.
I think so. And then we see Cecilia, Lily Taylor. She's driving out to some little shack on the property.
Mhm. She's gonna go check
When
on her buddy.
maybe, or I feel like that's a different shack though.
Oh, I think that was the same. I think that's why she was like peeking in, like, why is the door open? What the fuck?
Maybe, but I mean, didn't I thought that she dragged it into a little shack that was like right opposite the main house,
Well, she dug that grave too before, so
but
maybe
didn't
it
use
was
it.
right. Maybe it was further out from the house. I don't know.
I'm not sure either. Well, but we saw previously she took the dead bear cub's jaw and bit down on her own hand in some weird stigmata slash whatever thing. We don't
And
know
that's
what that's about. That's very confusing.
yes.
So then today, the mama bear has been searching high and low, obviously.
Yeah.
And she smells her child on Cecilia. They both start running. Cecilia breaks for the truck to grab her rifle. The bear smashes the window of the truck, and Cecilia falls back and just barely gets off a shot. The bear collapses, not quite dead.
She has to roll out of the way before it falls, or else it would fall on her.
Yeah.
That was wild. I didn't realize, like, it all happened so fast. If that had been me, I would not have, but I'm also not a rancher. I would have just gotten in the truck and done my best to get the fuck out of there, not even thinking about the bear breaking the window.
I
And I
mean, I'd
don't
probably
think,
be barefoot because I wouldn't know what the fuck to do.
right. First off, I would have jumped in the passenger seat. I would not have tried to run around the truck. What? And then, like, getting the gun, like, holy shit, I would not have that in my mind at all. I Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well done, ma'am. And so it's not totally dead. So it starts to crawl away and it's injured, obviously.
Right. And I guess it's decided that it's not still attacking her.
Well, no, I think it's like barely alive. So I don't think it can. I
Right.
don't know about bears.
And then I think she
She
puts it
shoots it.
out of its misery, right?
Right. Which good.
Yeah. What else
It
can you do?
was, yeah, exactly.
Um,
And also, it's not a real bear. So everybody settle down.
yeah, guys, it's just computer graphics.
Settle down.
Yeah. It's probably friends with the Coca-Cola bears and the Charmin bears.
Mm-hmm. And Billy Bob from the Rocktastic, whatever it was from Showbiz Pizza.
Midwesterners will know what you mean.
Longtime listeners.
Longtime listeners.
Rack of Fire Explosion. That's what it is. Anyway.
Rock a fire explosion.
Uh oh, but also, is it, I can't remember the kids' names. Billy, the rich kids.
Yeah.
Billy takes his brother to go see the hole, and he's like, holy shit, what?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't understand why everyone is so like loopy, which is reasonable. Why would
Totally.
he understand? So after all that happens, he is amazed. He goes back home and he goes and he hugs his comatose dad, and then he puts a pillow over his head to kill him.
And Billy walks in and pulls him off, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm. And they beat each other up.
And Luke is like, oh, you love to sing, why don't you start singing now? Why do you sing so much?
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah,
I missed that part.
That's just good question. Why does he sing so much?
It's just part of his charm. But his dad had an oxygen tube up his nose. A pillow's not going to kill him.
Ah! That's a good point. Just pull that tube out and
yeah, speed it up with a pillow, but just take the oxygen tube out. He can't do anything on his own. Pull some plugs, take some tubes out, he's dead. Pillow dude, my pillow dude.
Yeah, maybe he had the wrong pillow. He needed a my pillow.
Thank you.
So Wayne just barely escapes being murdered by his son.
Mm-hmm.
We cut back to Perry and Amy are getting ice cream together.
Not Dairy Queen.
Right, at Dippers.
Not Dairy Queen is what it's called, I think.
Right, it's just like, I don't know if it's a solo place or a regional franchise or whatever, but it's,
But they bought a Dairy Queen and it is now not Dairy Queen.
Something like that. I mean, listen, if you've ever been to an ice cream place that's not a Dairy Queen, like they come in a couple different shapes and
Flavors.
sizes.
Mhm.
So like they might
But
look
this place is
exactly
not a
like that,
dairy.
or they might look sort of, sleek and Scandinavian design, or
Mhm. Ice
uh
cream designed, yeah.
yeah. So anyway, they're having a nice little chat and some ice cream. And he's like, you want anything else? And she's like, I want French fries. And he's like, all right, you want some fries? Are you gonna dip it in your ice cream? And she's like, yuck. And he's like,
That's
yuck, like that's the good stuff.
that's
So
America.
you have this really cool moment where the camera follows her as she walks in,
That was beautiful.
and then it keeps moving and we see it land on Autumn, who is in the bathroom of that same ice cream place, and she's giving herself this incredibly deranged messianic speech that she's getting high on
Mm.
as she's delivering it. She doesn't blink for like a full minute while she says all this stuff to herself in the mirror about like there's a portal to the past and the future and I will own it, and I will, there is an altar and I will build it, there's an unbuilt altar and I will build it, and I will be your shepherd in the night, and I will be your shepherd in the night. And
Mm.
and like it ends with her like whoa, like
Pumped.
yeah, she is whipped into a fucking frenzy, and then she comes out of that bathroom directly to Perry and says, I got to tell you something about your father.
Cool. What's up?
That's the end of that scene.
And then something else. What else? Oh,
Oh, back when she was making out with Billy,
mm,
he's like, I saw a vision, and you were like leading everyone. And she was like, was Royal Abbott in your vision? And he's like, uh-huh. And she is like, I need you to stop him before he stops me. He's like, do anything you want.
cool. I'm on
Yeah.
it.
So
And
then
oh yes, okay, yeah.
shortly thereafter, Royal is driving and sputter, his engine like explodes or something. There's
Yes.
smoke coming out of his engine, and he pulls over, and Billy was right behind him. He pulls up right next to him, says,
Billy
hey,
was for sure following him,
yeah,
almost to the point that maybe he did something to the engine.
maybe we didn't see it happen, but could have
Hey,
been. He's like, hey, engine trouble? It's like, yep.
what's up, bro?
You got someone coming? I don't have a car. I don't have a phone.
Of course he doesn't.
Well, yeah, of course.
He's
You,
royal.
he's out of step with the time in every meaningful way. And
He's like, let me give you a ride.
he's like,
Nah,
nah, I'm
I'm
all
good.
right. And
Road.
then the best line ever is like, don't be a silly goose. What does he say? Don't be a silly goose, or don't be a silly Billy? I think it's don't be a silly goose.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Don't be a silly goose. And it's true. He was being a silly goose. What was he going to
You
do?
got
Sit
me.
there?
I was totally being a silly goose. Let's go, bro. Where does he
So,
take him?
so they're driving, and Royal says, thanks for the ride. And then they start talking about the hole. He's like, how did you come to see it? Well, I felt it before she brought me there. And then Billy's got a gun pointed at Royal. And mind you, they're just sitting right next to each other
Right, it's a truck
in
on
a
a bench
truck.
seat.
And Billy's driving. So, look, I understand that like Billy's really good with firearms and he's a hunter and everything, but like
Those are some bumpy roads. They gotta be.
those are some bumpy roads and they're in close proximity. The point of a gun is that you get away, you put some distance between yourself and the person you're aiming it at.
Mhm.
Otherwise, like, I mean, he's right within swatting distance.
Yeah, he could smack him across the face.
Anything.
Without
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like this is a real like according to the sort of zones that they're in with each other, is in a very defensible place. Anyway, he doesn't do anything physically. And he says, what are you going to do with that? And then Billy raises it from his waist level to his head level.
Mm.
And the next thing we know, we're back in that roller rink. It's now trashed. It's decades later, and I guess nobody goes there anymore because literally it looks like an abandoned building. But the neon sign, which is broken, is on.
Yep.
So
And
we
also,
got a
it looked
flickering
like,
neon sign.
yeah, either there was a spotlight coming out of the DJ booth or the sun was coming through the roof. I don't know which one it was, but
Yeah.
there, it's fine there. They still have the electricity. It's fine.
Something's going on. Billy's like, I've never killed a human before. Maybe you should get on your knees. And
He's
he
just
makes him
trying some things on.
apologize.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what are you sorry for? He's like, everything. I'm sorry for everything.
Oh, I love Royal so much.
And then Billy kind of relaxes and he's like, all right, you stay away from Autumn. And then he just leaves.
Yeah. uh, okay.
Why did you do all of this?
To scare the shit out of him so he would leave Autumn alone. That's why. You know, he was planning on killing him, but then he was like, I've never killed a human before. I don't really want to. I'll just scare him.
I
That's my
guess. I guess. I mean, that just seems like a strange thing because it's like, well, now I think you're just bluffing when you pull a gun on me.
well, yeah, absolutely, because he doesn't want to kill anybody, but he wants to, but he knows he can't.
It's also like when you're using your words rather than violence,
Mm-hmm.
you are using your words. So like you're not as immediate a threat of danger because you're trying to talk it out with a person.
Yes.
All I'm saying is if I were Royal, I would not feel threatened by this guy. If anything,
Bruh, everyone in this show is not right in the head right now. They're going through it. I'm sure that he's like, do I even care anymore? Like, just finish it. It's too much now.
and also as he's like, all right, stay away from Autumn, his parting words to Royal are like, I think something bad's gonna happen to your granddaughter.
Right. That's not cool, dude. Even if it's a warning, it sounds like a threat. Don't, no, not cool, dude. No.
Big time.
Mm-mm. And then we see later Royal walking down the many roads, the many miles of road home.
Uh-huh.
He finally gets home and Perry's coming towards him as he's walking to the house. And he's like, we gotta come with me. We gotta go see something. And they ride their horses. And I am telling you, after walking,
No, wait, they don't ride horses. They ride.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. No, the brothers have their four-wheelers.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
After walking miles and miles, I assume, in what I assume are, oh, I guess they're work boots. Are they work? Whatever. And then getting on a horse and having that horse gallop to this place. His thighs are on fire right now. I cannot believe he can even stand up. That sounds so fucking painful to me.
Thighs on fire tonight.
Tonight. All right.
Wait, are we changing the name of the show to Thighs on Fire Tonight?
Yeah, I already did all the marketing for it. I hope you like it.
Great. Nice.
So Autumn obviously told Perry about the hole, and they're gonna go
back
check
at
it
Dippers.
out. Right. Oh. Mm-hmm. So he's like, yeah, we're here, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, so I never told you why I ran away as a kid. And then we have a flashback. Royal is a little boy.
Uh-huh. with his dad.
with his
He's like
dad, and they're
maybe
hunting.
8 or so, 8, 10, I don't know.
He's got a
And
rifle in his hands.
I was like, really? That's him as a kid? Those clothes make it look like it's super old. I mean, it's hard to tell with men's clothes sometimes, but I was like, I think they got a little bit loosey goosey with the costuming. Anyway, they're hunting and they split up.
Yeah,
Dad goes one way, Royal goes the other. He sees a deer. The
yeah.
deer sees him. Go
So
ahead.
yeah. So just, we saw Royal as an adult in the early 2000s playing big buck hunter
Yes.
and shooting some bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Here he was much earlier as a little kid about to shoot a buck.
Mm-hmm.
It
He's been
takes
chasing that buck all his life.
it runs. He tries to follow it, pulls the trigger.
He misses it.
This is it. He shot his father in the heart.
In the fucking heart.
He tries to get him back home, but he's just a little kid. This guy's dead, and he climbs over the terrain and sees his mother and sister like hanging up the laundry on the laundry line, and they're super like old timey looking. And he's like, I just wanted the earth to swallow me up. And then we see like this CGI shot of the hole creating itself.
Yes.
He fell into it, was swallowed by it, and
he
then
jumped in. He was like, I need
jumped
to get
in.
the fuck away. I'm scared and I
Yeah,
don't
he's
want
like,
to
fuck
tell my
this.
mom.
I'm
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I can't face anyone. I did this horrible thing.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this feeling? It's not, I don't know how to express anything. I'm just
I am
gonna
a
jump into
child.
this goddamn hole.
And we get back to modern day, and Perry's like, when was that?
Oh, but wait, but then I crawled out of that hole.
No. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Perry is like, when was that? He says 1886.
Boop, boop, boop. He said 1860. Boop, boop, boop.
No, 1886, because when he climbed out of the hole was 1968.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's
he was missing for almost 100 years.
Yeah.
What? He was still a child when he crawled out. And I'm assuming the child that was at the top of the hole when he crawled out and was all gross was Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne is a little kid
Mm-hmm.
standing over the hole being like, what the fuck is with this hole? When a strange boy covered in black sparkly dust crawls out of it. The dust sort of disappears as he emerges from it.
Yes.
Wayne falls over, young Wayne.
Right.
And Royal found his way to the Abbott Ranch, and they took him in and raised him. And he never told anyone that story until just then when he told Perry.
Because why would you tell anyone that story? It is insane.
And then Perry looks kind of happy and relieved. And he's like, Autumn told me that Rebecca's not really gone, that no one ever really leaves us.
Which is the most bullshit. Like,
this hole is a salvation for you. And Royal's like, nope.
That's not what you meant. You're taking it too literally. Shut up.
Okay,
okay. What happens? Yeah. He's like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna fix this. And Perry jumps into the hole. And it closes up.
Yeah, we see him just disappearing into the mists, a leap of faith. He's clearly been touched by the messianic message of Autumn, and he's like half insane with his missing wife, and he killed a guy and all of that. And then, he's got to show up for court at some point, but instead he jumps into a bottomless pit.
I was like, so mad at Perry. You know what? Wait until the bond is clear. Like, you just fucked your parents. You just fucked your whole family with that. They no longer have a farm now.
We assume.
Right. No, they don't, because if the future is right, they don't.
Well, Joe Strummer said the future is unwritten, and who am I to contradict
Fuck
Joe
that
Strummer?
Guy. He hasn't watched this show, and I have.
He has not watched this show. That's true.
Fucking Perry, dude. I'm fucking pissed. You can like kill a dude. You can lie to a bunch of people. You can like do whatever. Don't fuck your whole family by running away through a fucking hole. No one's gonna see you for 100 years or whatever. Fuck you, Perry. Fuck you, Perry.
Oh, there's a mini scene that we skipped in the middle of the episode. Autumn walks into the handsome gambler, and like the old guy at the corner is like, "Hey, you're back." And she sees Rhett sitting where Perry had previously been sitting, and she's like, "Is Royal here? Or did she ask for Perry? Who did she ask for?"
I think she asked about both.
Okay.
Specifically Royal, but I think she also asked about Perry.
And so Rhett was like, Perry
because they're besties.
Yeah. Rhett's like, Perry got arrested for killing Trevor Tillerson.
He didn't do it.
Yeah, she's like, he didn't do it. And walks away. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Fair.
Fair enough. Like, we don't see Maria in this episode at all.
No.
Rhett's totally bumming.
Perry fucked everybody so many times.
Yeah, Perry done fucked up a whole bunch. I mean, you could say that certain things were out of his hands. You could say that certain things were fated, that he never had a chance. But
he made some choices that
he made some choices. He took some actions. Okay. So here's what we know. Royal disappeared in the past.
So good. I love that so much.
What happened to his family in the past?
I assume they died before he showed up again.
What were their names? Like, he was raised by the Abbotts, meaning that his real name was an Abbott.
Right.
He married the daughter of the family that raised him.
Kind of icky.
I think.
Yeah, that's what they made it sound, right? Because that farm was theirs.
Right. And it had been farmed for 3 generations.
Right.
So unless they are his own descendants,
icky.
Which I don't think they are.
He's his own grandpa.
I mean, he could be, because now Perry just disappeared into an unknown place in time.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that he went back in time, possibly to before then? Maybe he is the great grandfather of Royal himself. Maybe he went into the future. Maybe, as Billy expressed to Joy Hawk, he went to an unformed point in time.
Did he say something like non-creative space or something?
Like like a sort of dimensional limbo, but he called it like an uncreated.
Wait, you said created?
I think.
I thought that I kept hearing him say uncreative, and I didn't understand exactly what that meant.
I think he said uncreated.
That makes sense more so than what I heard, But I also was like, oh, it's Billy. He's a little loopy. It's fine.
Yeah, and his brother's like, please excuse my brother. He's
He's an
fucking
idiot.
insane with grief. Not just he's crazy all the time.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, so yeah, we've got Autumn who's fucking bonkers. She's off her meds. She's fully fucking bananagrams.
Yup. She was talking to her mom on the phone, right?
Yes, she yells, "Don't call me that, mom." And then
Mhm.
she walks directly into the street and a truck honks at her and she's like, "Watch where you're going."
Sweetie. You know what I think we should do?
What should we do?
I think we should go and watch the next episode right now.
Well, I got to take a quick break because I have a video doctor's appointment. I have my therapy via telemed. But I am into this plan. So if you want to take a little lunch break while I do my doctor's thing, and then we can meet up afterwards and do another, that would be awesome.
Let's do it.
Metal.
Metal, indeed.
All right, this is going to be fucking awesome. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. I really have to run, so that's all the time we have
Oh,
on
okay.
Fire Tonight for this particular episode.
Did you see that hole? It was like totally smoldering that next morning.
Did you just end this? What? Just